This is not your average Saturday. The truth seekers are meeting for the first time ever. Join us Saturday, July 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at Keys Park in Dallas, Texas. Come meet the community that refuses to be silent, where nothing is off limits. Historic conspiracy, modern cover-ups, hidden truths you won't hear on the news. Bring your kids, let them enjoy the playground. Bring a chair, sit under the shade, and let's share what they don't want us talking about. Your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. Bring your truth, bring your curiosity, bring your favorite snack. This is Truth versus Authority Live, and this time, you're not watching, you're part of it. All right, truth seekers, what's going on? It is hump day, if that's such a day, because I'm on a 7-day clock, so I don't have a hump day like most people will, Wednesday, and then we off on Friday and over on the weekend. This is a 7-day job when it comes down to truth versus authority. And we already had a great week. We had Samuel Chung here on Monday, Billy Carson here yesterday, and then you get Roderick Martin here today. And, our conversation has been really cool. And today we're going to go into what I call alien messages, things that we should have gotten from aliens over time, and give you a few thought-provoking questions, maybe some statements, some things to think about each particular instance that I'm going to go over tonight, because I feel right now that we are in a time where profound alien messages, and if you remember the Israeli UFO guy years ago, during the first term of Trump, said that the aliens themselves, or whoever which race it was, said it was time. It was time that humans need to know they exist. Now, why was that? Why is it all of a sudden it's so important that we know that aliens are here when our community, we already know this, but they're talking about a global thing, worldwide. More people need to know. And it makes you wonder, are people ready for that? And so tonight, I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff, maybe 25 different things to put us out there. And you can determine as we begin to go through these conversations, not only if you're ready, but is the world ready? And the messages that we've already received, we're going to go into it. So I'm going to hit it right off the bat here. When we talk about alien disclosure on Earth and hostile behavior toward it, the time is approaching, and I have it here written here, when civilizations will openly reveal themselves to Earth inhabitants. So it is time for us to get ready for that. But for far too long, humanity has lived in what most of us will consider a fake reality. Now, this includes a widespread cover-up of alien life, as you should know that, based on all the conversations we had. Now, when billions of unsuspected humans discover that aliens are real, they may struggle to cope with this. And we talked about this because regardless of disclosure, and when people say, oh, we want the truth, we can handle the truth, I just don't know, because in such of a global contact scenario, many steps are already being considered to prevent a problem. For instance, when you look into the history of things, certain systems can dramatically reduce muscular reflexes without even altering mental capacity, when it comes down to this. So think about some of the technology that these aliens have, effectively turning potential attackers into listeners. And we already know this, and providing time for explanations without hostility. Now, this extreme action is only taken when no other assistance is possible. However, much like restraining a drowning person to save them, another technique is projecting a collective consciousness of friendship. Now, Billy and I, we was talking about that yesterday, that it's all in the mind. Everything is in the mind. And you always know, I said, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. And so therefore, projecting this illusion into the consciousness is already in preparation if it's not going on already when you think about it. Now, again, though this would only have maybe a merit if humanity was deemed ready in nature, or should we say, if people are mature enough. That's going to be the question. Are people really mature enough for the relationship with their community, in which we know that by ours, but with an alien community? And so we know for thousands of years, Earth ruling elites have maintained control through subliminal religions, belief, folklore, and advertisement. Those are the things that they have been controlling the minds. Once again, religion, we're talking about beliefs, folklore, and advertising, the media. That, I talk about that all the time. Now, these sources suggest that if thoughts and messages are imposed, it's a form of suggestion that hinders true societal consolidation. So anyway, the question, or where I would go with this, is while many on Earth are not ready for interstellar connection, others are, and these individuals will validate humanity's passage to the next level. And that would be people like you, people like me, people who we are ready for communication. And I'm not saying people are not already having it, but we are ready for the next level when it comes down to this. And I think it's just something that it's already there. And so make sure you smash this like button tonight. But I got a question for you, something to give your mind to think a little bit. If alien civilization were to make themselves known, and put your answers in the chat here, how prepared do you think humanity truly is to handle such a revelation, given our historical tendencies toward fear and control? And I want you to be honest with yourself. Be honest with the world. Be honest with reflection on that question, because tonight I'm going to give a bunch of it. And I think it's time for us to think not within your own self, what you're ready for. We want to talk about the whole. Let's exponentially think. Let's exponentially say that's 10 different people behind you and 10 behind them and 10 behind them. Are they ready? Are people really, truly ready if the aliens today was to reveal themselves wholeheartedly? And Denisha says people will panic and bow down to them like they're gods. Okay, there you go, right off the bat. All right, so and I don't think there's not a lot of us who are not thinking the same, that will be possible, right? That people will do that. Now, let's take it up a notch. It's already terrifying to imagine our reality being shattered, yet part of me longs for the truth, right? And you do too. But even if it exposes how manipulated we've been by those powers, that's something that we got to consider. Is it okay that we already know what's happening? Is it okay that we accept the truth? And you know how they say you can't handle the truth? Maybe that's just what it is. And maybe we should really consider, because I tell people all the time, they talk about disclosure, they talk about how it's going to be disclosed. I'm like, yeah, we already know it's a game. It's a game that they've been playing for the last 70 years, and they've just changed it up a little bit on us and got a little head and got us excited. In some cases, I've never been, but the other part of this, the game, and I've said it before, the game of disclosure will never go away. They're just going to change the rules. They're going to change how they present things in such a way that people feel that there's progress being made, because people want totality. They want total truth when it comes to this. And I don't think they're ready to get it when it comes down. Now, the next part of this is, let's get into a little bit about the makeup of alien breeds that's out there. And we talk about diversity of life across the universe is vast. People say it, with various forms, have adapted to incredible adverse environmental conditions, including extreme temperatures, ultra high pressures, and poisonous atmosphere beyond what animals and plants on Earth typically would tolerate. It will take days to discuss all of these diverse combinations. There are billions of micro and macro organisms with those genetic codes that have been completely retrofitted here for different chemical compositions. So, for example, I'm glad you asked, is If a body cannot find calcium for its structure, it adapts to available environmental elements like crystals. And we know this. I'm wearing crystals now. You know, different crystals and giving out. We're talking silicon dioxide, we're talking metal particles, and furthermore, we're talking about entities that are utilizing energy in high density plasma to form and develop their structures and feeding on photons and ionic particles to grow even in open space where nothing else is available. Are we ready for that? Or can we do that? Can we be taken from here to there and then begin to, at this point, evolve or live or adapt? I don't think so. We can't get off the planet and go somewhere without trying to find or the same type of atmosphere. Oh, they say Mars is like that. Okay, we can't go to the moon and just walk out. We can't go on Mars and just walk anyway, supposedly. You know, we can't go to Saturn or a distant asteroid or a star and we hop out without apparatus or suits or anything else. But obviously, at some point, they can come here, but we can't go there. I think it's worth looking into. I think it's worth for us looking into when we do this. Now, the question for this is, consider the immense diversity of alien life forms that we've described over the time here. What ethical responsibilities may humanity have when encountering beings who are very existence challenge our fundamental understanding of biology? You know, if they don't look like us and walk like us, or have hair like where we have it, or whatever, and their biology, you know, is different, do you think humanity? I'm not talking about you. I'm saying we got to look at this as a bigger picture right now, because time is coming. But will humanity be able to accept the biology of another extraterrestrial being from somewhere else? Now, we have this vision of the grays and all of this are bipedal. But heck, when you start thinking about the movie Star Wars, when they had that bar scene, these people had ears, 16 eyes, 26 legs, you know, fur, big one eye, little one eye, pudge, or you know, blue and green, yellow people, you know, they looked all kinds of ways. And are we ready for that though? And then you think about, oh, you're going to go date a, you know, 16-armed alien? Who would do that? But I know one of y'all would. I know one of y'all would probably date a 16-armed alien or 14-eyed blue alien, you know, but just to be different, you know, but will we accept that? And of course, the idea of life adapting to literally anything is mind-blowing enough. And sometimes, okay, it could be exciting, but also incredibly unsettling when you really think about it, because it makes me feel personally that we're just a mustard seed in this whole thing. We're very small when it comes to this, and it's something for us to think about. But you know, she says, my entire screen went black. Anyone else's? Bring on the super soldier formula. All right. But y'all get what I'm saying, though, right? It is something for us to really give it some thought and think about as we begin down that road. The other part of this, how alien races become advanced over time, that's a whole nother conversation, because self-development is an inherent characteristic of being alive for all of us. And just as humans invent a door with when the wind enters the house, intelligent beings naturally develop a succession of challenges to improve their lives too. And intelligence itself doesn't require external motivation. It needs challenges to drive the improvements in lifestyle. And that gets us to really think, if intelligence inherently drives the development through challenges, what fundamental challenges are we? You get what I'm saying? As humans, as society currently facing, they could propel us to the next stage of collective advancement. So that's when we was talking about, I think it was either in Thioba prophecy, where she was saying that the trials and conflicts that we're going through are the very thing that is used to propel advanced intelligence. Like we got to go through some sugar honey iced tea to learn from it and then prepare new stuff for it. And I think that's something that has been their plan all along. 4.0, Cairo says, we've been handling with alien talks for decades, and we could have been with aliens all this time, so everything would remain the same unless we change something because we move to a state of fear. I don't think so. I don't think so. I get where your point is, but I would have to look at it a different way, because this is why I was trying to have all of you to think beyond yourself. Because as long as you keep yourself entwined in the answers of some of these things, it's going to be easy to go that you're ready, because you are ready. You want contact. You want disclosure. Some of y'all might want to date an alien. Like I said, some of y'all might want to have babies by aliens or whatever. Or maybe some of y'all will want to go on a spaceship with someone, or maybe get probed or whatever. That may be your desire. But I'm saying, as a collective, the world, beyond you and your family, you're outside, beyond you and your space, go around tomorrow and ask a few people, are they ready for aliens? And just ask 10 and see what they tell you. And then you'll understand why way back when they did the condom reports and all this stuff, and they brought everybody in and said, don't tell them. You cannot tell them. Okay. We can fairly say that it's for religion or it's for financial gain. We can go there. But if you've been around this long enough and you see the effects or have felt the effects of abductions and all the things that come along with conversations about extraterrestrial life, then I'm not saying they like us. We may be like them, and we don't want people to know. I'm just saying. And pretty much, yeah, somebody said probe. Yeah, I said it. Some of y'all want to be probed. I know some of y'all might want to be probed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just talking. But also, it's frustrating to think that our potential for advancement is right there, and yet we seem to be held back by our own self-imposed limitations, almost as if we're afraid of true progress may demand on us. And that's kind of a thinking part of this, but it works with that. So we're going to move into the appearances of alien races visiting Earth. Now, this is a whole nother dynamic here, because many alien breeds visiting Earth are physically similar to humans and could move unnoticed in our cities, such as the Palladian. However, a reptilian being would typically appear as it is, unable to easily masquerade or as a humanoid and pass unnoticed. So the sources also indicate that some breeds work in association with reptilians and are scattered throughout government on Earth elites, the elites. Now, these beings originate from their various colonies in the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxy, making it impossible to determine their home colony merely by experience. So once again, as it says here, some hide, some walk among us. And of course, we can go with the most baffling part when people used to ask me all the time, you're a UFO investigator, what do aliens look like? And then I would look at them and say, what if we look like them? Now, I only gather that because, biblically in Genesis and all that, chapter 1, verse 26 or whatever, let's make man in our image and the likenesses of ourselves, and plural and gods, and from Jordan Maxwell training and all that there's multiple gods and not monotheistic that we think, that they're trying to make us, put things in place. And when you start thinking about it, we could look like a lot of different things. But when it comes down to all of these species, there could be a huge difference when it comes down to this. Now, also, if some of the alien races can blend seamlessly among us, then how can we discern truth from deception? And what does this imply about hidden influences shaping our world? I don't think everybody's ready for that. I don't think people are ready. If you're standing right now, wherever you are, and you're among friends, family, co-workers, or at a baseball game, and one of these boogers decide to just take off his suit or hit his button and his camouflage gear where he looked like someone wearing an outfit that you was wearing at the baseball game, and now he got scales. Oh, you just gonna sit there and be like, oh, well, hey, man, you look great. Heck no. I think all of us will be like, what is going on? So we can sit here and say that we're open-minded to the suggestions of, the big reveal. But just think about it right now. If you went to dinner, you went whatever, and all of a sudden one of them decide to take off his mask, and while you're eating with a fork and spoon, he comes out with some sponge hands and he just soup up the chicken bones, and you hear it cracking going down his one of his 6 arms. You good with that? Are you? And then when you find out that his little red rocket that we have down here in the middle in our clothes is sitting on his forehead dangling at you, that's his red rocket. Put the kids to bed, y'all. You got to put the kids to bed. All right? We're going deep tonight. You get what I'm saying? So if his part is here and ours is there, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was a female, it's just there. Y'all get the picture. It's right there on the forehead. And it just is uncovered. What do you do? Do we rejoice? I don't know about all that. I don't know. But the thought that aliens could be walking among us, even positions of power, is both thrilling fantasy and terrifying confirmation of our deepest paranormal about really who controls stuff. Y'all get what I'm saying, though, right? I try to make a little illustration there, Judith said, we'll freak out like the lady on the airplane. Right. That MS over there ain't real. Right. We definitely would do that in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, we will do that. We will do, let me see, I got my little clip, just the first part of it right here.
That back there is not real.
And that's exactly what somebody will be saying. That booger is not real. He said, give us faith a new meaning. Hey, I'm just, but imagine though, somebody walking up to you and all of a sudden things are lopsided. You know what I'm saying? They're behind us on the side over here and they walking sideways. You get what I'm saying. So I think that the thought that aliens could be walking among us, even in position of power, both a thrilling sci-fi fantasy and a terrifying confirmation of our deepest paranormal or paranoia, I would say, about who really controls things. That's the problem that's going to happen. If they reveal themselves and show themselves, the truth is people are going to go a little bananas because the control factor is now presented. Who is in control? Who is running the ship? Or who has the capabilities to deception? And that's, I think, is right there is where people are going to be going with it. All right, so let's get into about alien races because they've been visiting Earth for over 1 million years. Now, the current colony of humans on Earth, according to data, approximately 6,000 years ago. But before that, various civilizations have developed regionally and were transferred to new colonies by their developers. While humanity's current lineage may not be older than 6,000 years, they might have traces of hybrids who existed in isolated tribes over 12,000 years ago. And humanity is now on the verge of changing to a new era, having reached a required level of recognition as a race on planet Earth. We're now being known as the species on Earth because there's 5 billion of us, if not more, and that's something that, hey, there's a lot of people there. And the sources assert that without presence of many alien races who fought to preserve this development humanoid colony, human habitation on Earth would have ended a long time ago. See, I mentioned that yesterday. Remember I was asking, or I brought it up, not asking, but we already know that civilizations have been gone and left here. We already know that there has been civilizations that is just disappear, gone. But we don't concentrate on that. We don't really dig deep on where did they go. Okay, we got the Great Deluge. We know Noah built the ark before it rained. We know this. We know about the ant people and the Hopi people said, okay, they brought and took humans underground and raised us and whatever. All right, so we can go with some of those stories. We can go with the sinking of Atlantis. Okay, we can go with that. We can go with, I don't know. But the whole point I'm saying is there is a lot of stuff that before us right now in the last 200 years, people that are gone, bamboozled, led astray, hoopwink. They're out of here. They're not even on the planet. They're not even occupying their monuments no more or doing nothing. They just left. And I don't think that we give that much thought to understand that what if we wake up one morning and it's time and there's a bunch of ships saying, hey, y'all pack up. We should take y'all somewhere else. Will we get on it? Will we get, and I know I'm just talking, but, would we get on it? Yeah, so that's a whole different ball game when you look at this and pretty much, and ask yourself the question about that. Because one thing I will say is that the sources assert that without the presence of alien races who fought to preserve the developing humanoid colony, human habitation on Earth would have ended long time ago. You remember that. So obviously, judging by all of the stories, all of the mythologies, all of the stuff that we hear, if it had not been for the intervention of some of these alien races, you wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here because we're unable to make it happen, supposedly. And I think there's a different time now. I think we have the technology. We have the present, the wherewithal to become a interplanetary species and explore options and go to other planets and stuff. Well, we didn't back then. 100 years ago, we didn't for sure. But now, so you have to think about it. You get what I'm saying? You have to really give that some thought that we would be gone, because one day humans may access the history of this colony and be amazed by many struggles undertake to defend from annihilation. We've seen all the movies. Asteroids was going to destroy the world. Something was going to hit us. And then now we had the ability to survive and send something up there and do it. You get what I'm saying? All these things changed. All of these things. It became a whole different story. When it comes down to what we're getting. Hang on, let me see here. You know what I mean? A whole different story. And it is what it is, one of those stories. And so I think what you have to think about is reptilians, and we're going to use that word, are currently using the lust for power and control over the elites and control the planet, but direct intervention is only possible if their participation in genocide can be proven, and as aliens cannot influence societal decisions. Now, the survival of human race ultimately depends on itself. Jordan Maxwell, I play this clip all the time, said that we have to understand that there is possibly some from secret societies behind them, other world beings that are giving them information and are controlling us through them for their own purposes. And we talk about, the reptilian stuff being energy harvesters. They want our loosh. They talked about that in the Matrix. You all seen the Matrix. Okay, we want their energy. We're going to harvest them like batteries. And then you wonder why we walking around feeling all down and all of that stuff. And, there was this lady did a podcast and she talked about how you can focus your eyes and then you look a certain way over here, but you focus there and you'll begin to see auras, and you'll see the parasitic auras that are maybe up above you, or if people driving down the street, you will see them on top of the cars just going with everybody. It's little dark parasitic auras, and they're just draining people's energy or negativity. And it's not on everybody, because sometimes you can keep your vibration in a place that they can't find or see you. That's the whole point. However, if alien races historically protected humanity from annihilation, what does it mean for our current independence and our future, knowing we may still rely on their unseen interventions? You know, we think we are in the free world. We think that everything is where it is. You thinking we walk around thinking we're just surviving because we got the best tech. Ask yourself, could we not survive without alien intervention, without the Palladians, without, you know, whoever, the Galactic Federation, without some person coming to Earth saying, I want to give you a cure for this, or give you some advanced technology for weaponry, you know, or we're going to trade off and you let us, you know, take a few of y'all, you and examine y'all, we'll give you this. I mean, who wouldn't trade off? And the question is, if all of you right now were in a power position of power, and an alien came up and said, I'm going to give you this information if you allow me to abduct. All right, so no, I'm going to put it on me. So let's say right now an alien fizzes right here in this room. He says, Roderick, I'm going to give you this, and a bunch of money. Okay? I'm going to give you this, and a bunch of money. I'm also going to alter your body like this, and this, and you're going to have one of these things and all of this, and you're going to have a bunch of money. All you got to do is tell me which people in your audience we can take to go probe, stick them, and all of that. Now, would I choose Philly Cat, or would I choose Dr. Strange or Cairo? Some of y'all, you know, would I choose Denisha? Think about it, Maya. Any, you know, I'm gonna just keep going. Kathy, we have, you know, Shay, Aqua Girl, you know, Emperor. You know, I have to pick Tina. I have to pick 10 of y'all. Would I do it? What do y'all think? Just put in the chat. If you think I will choose you for what the alien is offering, because they did it to our government, and I get to pick 10 people from this audience with 10 usernames, and as soon as I mention their username, you're gonna go. You out of here. So Cairo said I would. Sean said I would. Y'all think I would choose you all? I love you guys. I love you guys. Emperor said I'll choose. Come on now. Y'all think I would choose y'all? The alien said I'm gonna give you money, everything. I'm gonna change your body. You're gonna have bigger this, longer this, taller this, whatever. You're gonna have all of this world, the whole nine, your new technology. You can zoom in and out. I just need 10 of your audience. Philly Cat says, no, you won't choose anyone. Shanta said, I would hope not. Shadow said, I see you giving people away. You know, but just think about it. You know, who would I choose? I don't know if I'll answer that yet, but I will give y'all an honest answer. I will give you an honest answer. I won't start singing, you know, good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do, 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 do. Now, if I'm knocking on your door or you hear me singing that and then I give you a username and you're out of here, I don't know. I don't think that will be a hard offer to determine, because the big secret keepers did it, right? They let them take us and do whatever they want, and we couldn't say nothing about it. And I think that's the whole point. So we can also talk about the caution of making humans aware of alien presence cautiously. I think now truly, it's like, you know, we are at a time where they are gradually giving us this alien stories. Okay, I believe that. I believe that there is some preparation happening to normalize the fact that there's more than just you and I walking around here in the universe. I don't know how they're going to do it on the religious side, but with the spacecraft, with TikTok and Instagram and photos and man-made objects flying around that we think is UFOs, but it's not, man-made. I believe that they rather for us to guess that something is extraterrestrial flying around, and while they're flying around, their objects and things that they are making. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do it like, let me get to know you. Because I asked the question the wrong way. If an alien showed up to you and offered you whatever, and they tell you, because I'm in my bunker, to give Roderick up, we want him. How many of you will give me up for that alien, knowing that they're going to probe me from behind, they're going to slice me up, they're going to, pick me and all that, or if they say we need to take Roderick so that we can use him for our breeding program, how many of you will say take him? He'll be a good planetary starter. How many would take him? How many be like, yeah? Dr. Strange said, I ain't giving people up. If they say they're going to take me, do all those things, however, I'm going to also be a breeder. And Sonia said they can't have you. Thank you, Sonia. And I believe you. She said they can't have you. Well, okay. There's a trade-off. They're going to probe and use me as a breeder, okay? So 2 things are happening there, all right? All right, so let's talk about that part. Aliens are interested in making humans aware of their presence. This is what they're saying. But this must be done cautiously to avoid disrupting and panicking human life. Sources warn that Earth governments will launch campaigns against alien contact, alone or alleging bad intentions, even forging attacks or extermination events to turn the population against them and drive them into detention camps for screening, like that movie or whatever, where the bugs, the ship was up there and they couldn't get to it. And people should be prepared for major scare campaigns. Dangerous aliens is crucial not to be misled by the elites who seek to reduce population by blaming others and alien attempts contact during these events or from friendly races. Excuse me. Now, the current planetary leaders are largely puppets of elite systems, right? Because we said that in our triangle, and many, though, are disagreeing with the situation. Anyway, these weak-minded are expected to be out of frequency band and the planet not present for the next generation. They're just saying that. Okay, so let me look back over the chat. Not me. Angela said, you would be in luck if they came to which, but wouldn't, but you would be safe, I promise. Not me. Nope. Wait, he may want to be a breeder, especially if they got 3 tatas. If they got 3 tatas. Okay. He said, my cat, Toby, ain't allowed no aliens to appear in my house. He's a gatekeeper. They're already doing that. She said, wait, make you a breeder. You might be interested in that. Y'all funny. Y'all are funny. If there were not, we wouldn't be still here. 100% has already been disclosed. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? All right, what? Okay. Maybe I should ask the question the other way. If any of you today, and all I want you to put is take me. If any of you today and the aliens appeared and said, we need to take you to another planet to be a breeder, would you tell them, and they just want 2 words, take me? Who will go to another planet? Where, I don't care how old you are, whatever you think, you're going to be a breeder. Now, if you're pretty old, you might think back in your younger years, you might want those moments back. And if you're pretty young, you may not want what's coming. And if you're right in your prime, you might like, take me, because I'm with it. But how many would you go if they said, we're going to take you to be a breeder for another planet? Let me see. Mad Little Mama said, nope, not me. Emperor said, nope. It's a negative for me. Nope, not me. What? Come on, now one of y'all saying take me. Not Diane said nope. Nope. What? All right, Josh says, I'm down. Beats living in the USA these days with actively poisoned food and water. He said he's going. Take me. Carol said, what's the benefit for me? You're going to be a breeder. You get to do what, I don't know if you're doing it now. You know, I think me and you about the same age. But you get to be a breeder. Sonya said she's going to stay here with me. Okay, cool. Judith says, no, only if the men are the ones that get pregnant. Y'all funny. Captain Kirk, not a breeder, but I'll go. Breed with what? It don't matter. It's Harris. It don't matter. Breed with what? You're a breeder. I mean, it's not going to be looking like humans. I mean, they may have blue eyes or 6 legs or 22, tatos, like she says. They might be. He said, pretty sure the breeder would be enhanced by increased testicle capacity and his brain removed. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on what y'all talking about. God said, I didn't enjoy it then, and out of this world don't mean it's any better. All right. I get where y'all at now. I get where y'all at. Well, I'm still breedable today. I'm just letting y'all know. I ain't trying to reproduce, but I'm capable. I'm still capable. All right, so let's go. I get some of y'all saying, hey, forget about it. It's just not that fun anymore. None of that. I hear you. So we're going to talk about the elite's agreement a little bit with, Gemma said, he said, testicular fortitude. All right, I'm with you. The elite's agreement with the reptilians. I'm going to cover that a little bit. He said, well, we go through a lifetime of alien Viagra. You won't even need none. They're just going to read just everything. Boom. You get the same. You're just able to go. Same exact feeling and ecstasy. You're just going to go because you're a breeder. You get a boom, boom, boom. Every day you wake up breathing. Boom, boom, boom. It's heavy. You're breathing. You ready to go to bed. Like breathe right before you go to bed. Breathe in the morning. Breathe in the afternoon. You're going to breathe again in the evening. And then late night, they're going to come in. Hey, we need you to breathe some more. Just keep breathing. Until one day they walk in and say, this is not working out. You're producing all of this. That this is not working. Now we need to, stop this one. All right, so we'll leave it alone. So the reptilians, being a non-humanoid race, cannot take over Earth, which is considered a humanoid colony. However, they desire to enjoy Earth as guests and represented by Earth elites. Our elites agreed to this arrangement in exchange for technological trinkets, medicines for longevity, and protection from various events. The sources suggest that this agreement will soon prove to be a grave mistake, as no one can escape destiny of evolution and karma. And if it's suggested that on some of Earth's former kings, presidents, and popes may one day seen harvesting vegetables in a modest farming colony, learning humility. Reptilians and certain gray races are currently the only aliens working in association with Earth governments. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. That they're working with us. In fact, if our leaders have traded our planet's future for personal gain and technology, what does this say about the true nature of power and morality of those who wield it? And see, that's the point I was trying to allude to when I kept saying if they offered you this and that, because obviously they've already done it. They've offered them something that has got them to come into agreement that they're willing to, trade it for people or access to people without any, not just control, but the point that they can do things and we don't know nothing about it. Long as they keep it secret, long as they hide it a certain way, they can say and do whatever. And I think it's been that way for quite some time. Quite some time, to be honest with you. Or if you haven't had it already, give an opportunity to go ahead and hit that like button right now. We have 66 likes in here, and let's see if we can get to 100 really quick, if y'all don't mind, and I'll refresh the screen and see how close we get to 100 likes. Now, we're going to talk about the history of people with the large elongated skulls. Billy mentioned that a little bit last night, but we talk about the Atoons. They are an advanced and clever race from the Andromeda who allegedly or actively participate in the development of Earth cultures, working alongside the Palladians. Now, they are characterized by their tall stature, elongated scales, significant anesthetics important placed on their garments. And for thousands of years, the Atoons protected Earth settlements from attacks by reptilian breeds who would kidnap entire villages of humanoids by hybridization or experimental slavery. Now, many of these Atoons died and were buried on Earth, and their skulls should have been viewed with respect as much as humanity's current development is attributed to them. Now, the sources mention that the ancient gray skulls found in the, Rhodope Mountains of Bulgaria, which is believed to be a result of struggles between ancient Atunians, reptilians, and some grays. So there's a lot of history that the wars and things have been fought. There's a lot of history of those things. And it's incredible when you think about all those things, and pretty much. And by the way, in about 3 days, we're going to meet at the park. Put in a chat if you're going to be there. If you're going to be at the meet and greet Saturday. If you don't mind, if you're going to be at the meet and greet Saturday, put in a chat. Because I'm thinking about buying a real sweet watermelon and bringing it. Need to get a cooler for it, though. And bring some watermelon. And keep it cool on ice. Cut it. Real juicy, with seeds, of course, a seed watermelon. But anyway, who's coming? Who's going to be there? Let me know. All right, so how might our understanding of human history and our own origins change if we fully acknowledge the role of advanced alien races like the Atoons in our development and defense? How would it happen? How would it really change if everybody in the world knew that these aliens have helped us build spacecraft, guns, atomic weapons, or whatever, and they have helped with just about all the technology that we have, that humans are just not that smart, that it's been them all along, and we're just not that smart, and they have helped us create just about everything we can think of? What would that say? What would that say to our egos? I don't know. Well, I see ain't nobody said they're coming in here today, so wow. Ain't nobody here in the chat that's going to be here in Dallas coming? Is that not strange enough? Gee whiz. Okay, that's cool. I'll be there. Well, Maya said she'll be there. Shantae said I have to work. But you don't live in Dallas anyway, right? Is it Shantae Harris? Round watermelons, not the oval ones. Just Joy says where? You live in Dallas? Just Joy? I wish I lived closer. Just Joy, you live in Dallas area or not? All right, so if Earth is a vital oasis for numerous stellar colonization projects and biodiversity is being preserved everywhere, what does this imply about human role in a larger cosmic plan? She said she lives in Houston. Okay, Charles said I will come, but I have to work. Now, Charles, you in a whole nother state, right? Correct? No or not? Where are you located at? Just George says she lives in Dallas. All right, so we're going to be at, did you say you live in Dallas or not? You do. Okay. So we're going to be at the Keys Park. You know where Keys Park is? Just Joy? We're going to be at Keys Park. And depending on what side, if you come in on the Hampton side, the entrance that comes in off Hampton, then you're going to see as soon as you come around this little curve, the little pavilion, group of us in the trees. And he's in Frisco. Yeah, you can drive right on down, but he said you got to work. Okay, cool. Yeah, and we'll work on some future stuff, but yeah. I'm going to try to figure out a way to live stream it because I think I can do it with my phone, put it on a little tripod or in live stream us all while we're sitting there talking and doing it. But yeah, so if you live in whatever area, but when we're going to be at Keys Park, it's in Dallas, just Joy. Yes, my area. I live in that area. Okay. All right. So cool. Yeah. I'm over there off the office here in Mansfield, but I'm in the Loop 12 area. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So we'll be there Saturday. So just come 10 to 12, of course, bring your chair because there's not a lot of seating, but we got this whole underlying tree area. Oh, it's going to be cool. We just chill. But make sure you do that. Okay. And come on out and chill. And we're going to talk and pretty much. All right. So, let me take this off screen here. Yeah. So, you should, come on out. Just hang out a few moments. All of you. Anybody who can, make sure y'all come. Angela says a 3-hour job. I can get a drive, buddy. I will go. Okay, cool. That'll work. The moment my finances match my desired lifestyle, I'm at everything. Cool. All right, cool. All right, so Josh says I'm in Minnesota. Did you get to chat at Forbidden Conscious Award in Florida last year? Did get to chat with me. Oh, you did at the Forbidden Conscious Award. Okay, Josh, cool. Glad to have met you. I shook over hundreds of people's hand and talked to hundreds of people last year. It was really cool. All right, so we're going to talk about the movement of alien observers. All right, so currently there's supposed to be 320 registered alien ships circulating around Earth. This is what they say. And lunar bases are exceptionally busy with incoming and outgoing traffic. Earth is considered a vital planet by many races due to its rich biodiversity. It has a large moon, optimal orbital distance from the sun, and makes Earth an oasis that serves as basis of numerous stellar colonization projects. Like I've said it before, Project Planet. And while natural events cannot be interfered with, many alien races wish to observe and collaborate to prevent Earth from becoming a barren. It's almost like we are safari or some crap. He said, I found out that I won't be making it this time around. Okay. All right. So, but anyway, the sources state that much of Earth biodiversity has been transferred to 182 other planets, each suited with particular species that could be brought back to Earth for a new beginning if necessary. Now, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Because if Earth is a vital oasis for numerous stellar colonization projects and its biodiversity is being preserved elsewhere. What does this imply about humanity's role in larger cosmic plane? I mean, we are everywhere. They probably picked us up, taking us to all kinds of places. You get what I'm saying? And pretty much from there. And knowing that our planet is so precious that so many advanced races with a strange mix of pride, of course, makes us think about it, but it's confronting to be cared for, but also unsettling to feel like we're like some zoo. And I said it before, we're like a zoo. I think it's like we're a zoo. So let's get into how they abduct humans. Aliens abduct humans. We all know this. And real quickly, while I'm doing that, I'm just going to play the little message real quick, okay? Let's do it. This is not your average Saturday. The truth seekers are meeting for the first time ever. Join us Saturday, July 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at Keys Park in Dallas, Texas. Come meet the community that refuses to be silent, where nothing is off limits. Historic conspiracy, modern cover-ups, hidden truths you won't hear on the news. Bring your kids, let them enjoy the playground. Bring a chair, sit under the shade, and let's share what they don't want us talking about. Your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. Bring your truth, bring your curiosity, bring your favorite snack. This is Truth versus Authority Live, and this time, you're not watching, you're part of it. All right, so let's talk about aliens and how they have abduct humans. And regarding abductions, I'm going to say this. Some of these alien races have utilized human DNA to correct their own development problems. Certain gray races have conducted generic crossing experience between humanoids and themselves, aiming to create a physically stronger race and with emotions, because we have those emotions. And both these grades and others are working for the reptilians, of course, that are involved in similar research. Now, typically, they only require samples from various human strains for their experiments. See, I've said that all the time. It's all based on that bloodline stuff. And the sources have revealed a disturbing claim. And let me share. Earth governments provide human beings for hybrid pregnancy and experiments in underground laboratories and supplying them to the reptilians and other races that request such procedures. Now, a specific department which within the government, particularly the North American underground bases, handles this. And due to the agreements, the need for direct human abductions by the races have reportedly fallen to almost zero. In other words, they don't care. They just take them. They just take them. And they just do what they're doing. Andrew says he's going to bed. Peace out. Doctor, you said it. We are leftovers. Like Earth has been protected by a national park. I know, right? Some people say that, though. Some people think that that's some of the stuff that is going on. And pretty much. Hey, how many of you got your book of Sacred Secrets? I'm going to take it down for a while. I just want to know if you got this knowledge and learning and everything and went to the website, truthversusauthority.store and downloaded. I'm going to be taking it down and I'm going to talk about it a lot, but I'm going to take it down. And then we're going to do some stuff on it, but I'm going to take it down so people don't know. All right. So, if our governments are secretly providing humans for alien genetic experiments, who truly holds the power and what does this horrific betrayal means for fundamental rights and autonomy? That's something to think about, because I think if you start thinking about it, it gets a little twisted. Now, there was claims, once again, I think we covered that. I think we covered that the aliens was left behind in 1847 crash, and he provided technology. The alien involved in the Roswell class was a biotechnical unit held by military for a long time. And while this unit may have offered tips of an older technology, non-military as a gift, remember we talked about it in Alien Endgame, Nurse McElroy, who reported interviewing the entity, distorted some of the information. And we went through that last week. And of course, we know the interviews that she did indeed occur, of course, and she possessed the necessary sensitivity for basic telepathic communications. The operator of the biotechnological unit experienced it as if they were physically present, using the opportunity for direct study of humans. The operator, which was Ariel, could have left the clothing the unit contained in her quantum energy at the time, but was encouraged by the fleet of scientists to seize the opportunity presented by their accident. Now, if you think about it, it was highly sensitive human interpreter, remember, that distorted those messages. And how can we ever hope to fully grasp the complex truth that aliens may share in the first place? And what does that mean for current understanding of a phenomena like Roswell? That is something for us to think about. It is something for us to truly give a thought to. And another part is us having alien messages being channeled through contacts on Earth. We get a lot of that now. Now, of course, these are individuals on Earth who are mentally communicate with the contacts from other planets. They challenge the lies, interpreting these messages accurately, of course, and messages that are clearly understood like dreams and are one thing. And however, the content like religious doctrine or occult claims about multidimensional beings who will save us all, or pronouncement of some form of military council or particular planet constellation. We get all of those darn stories. All of those stories. We get all of those stories. And I think it's very, very interesting enough to how it has shaped and is shaping us. It is something that is there. All right, Kathy says she has hers. Well, we have a few more. And yeah, we have a few more. And pretty much from there. But I think what I'm going to do, I like to kind of go an hour, but I think it's time for us to get a little Tai Chi-ching. A couple of good things to work our day with. I'm going to do that real quick. And I'm going to read number 7, which I think is really good. It says the Tai, or the Tao, or whatever, is infinite and eternal. Why is it eternal? Because it was never born. And let me go back. Let me give you a definition if you didn't know what the Tao is. I think I have it already here. The Tao teaching. All right. So the definition of the Tao can't be told. It's not eternal Tao. The name that can be named is the eternal name. The unnameable is eternal real. Naming is the origin of particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery caught in desire. You only have manifestations, and yet mystery and manifestation arise from the same source, and this source is called darkness, and darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. All right, so I'm going to read number 7, and you can take this so that you can understand it. The Tao is infinite internal. Why is it internal? Because it's never born. Thus, it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus, it presents for all beings. The master, which is what we got to become, stays behind. That is why she's ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. That is deep. That is some deep thoughts. You know, if you stay behind, you detach from all things. We know there's a law of detachment. And a lot of you have heard that. And the other part is the supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. In dwellings, live close to the ground. In thinking, it keeps to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you're content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. How deep is that? I'm gonna read this again because I messed up the word content earlier, but it says that, and I get the understanding, the supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. So it is saying for us to understand, in dwelling, live close to the ground. In other words, don't be high up, I guess is what they're saying. In thinking, keep it to the simple. Okay. In a conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. I get that. In work, do what you enjoy. A lot of people say that all the time. In family life, be completely present. And when you are content with simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. Interesting. Now, this one is pretty good. We'll do a couple of more. It says, fill your brain to the brim. Remember I said your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. So it says, fill your bile to the brim, a bowl. Oh, I need to put on my glasses. What the hell? What I'm thinking of. S-H-I-T. What it said, bowl. It says, fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. And it says, do your work, then step back, the only path to serenity. That's cool. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. But it says, do your work, and then step back, the only path to serenity. That's interesting. This one is good. It says, I'm going to read two more. It says, can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep it to original openness or oneness? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? And can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? It says, giving birth and nourishing, having without possessing, acting with no expectations, and leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. That one I think I need to read again. And the question was, can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn's child? And can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? And can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? And can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? And it's saying by doing that, giving birth and nourishing, having without possessing, acting with no expectation, leading and not trying to control, this is the supreme virtue. The Book of Sacred Secrets, you can find it in our store, truthversusauthority.store. There is a link in the description of this video. Okay. So when you go to the link of the description of the video, just scroll down while you're watching the video, you'll see a link, click it, go into our store, and you'll be able to download it instantly. All right. So number 11 says, we join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but not being is what we use. I don't understand that one. Maybe y'all can understand that one. I don't understand that one. The last part, we work with being, B-E-I-N-G, but not being is what we use. So it says, we join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds water we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. And ultimately, we work with being, but not being is what we use. I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm not interpreting that, even though I know it's probably some good stuff. But the part of we work with being, B-I-N-G, but non-being is what we use. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. I don't know. All right, we got a new member in the house. Y'all go with that. Be well, be safe, is what they're saying. Y'all give a shout out to Brandon. Give a shout out to Brandon. Yeah, give a shout out. All right, so this is the last one, and then we're going to get out of here. It says, colors blind the eye, sounds deafen the ear, flavors numb the taste, thoughts weaken the mind, desires wither the heart. And it's saying, masters. It says, masters. The masters observe the world, but trust his inner visions, and he'll allow things to come and go. His heart is open as sky. All right. So there we go. That was our towel. There are 75 of them. We'll do some each day to kind of grow together or something, pretty much. But we'll be here tomorrow. And then, of course, Friday, we'll take off. We'll prepare for Saturday gathering. I can't wait to meet and see all of you. Just Joy, I think you say you're in the area. Please do whatever you can to come out because that's going to lead to some other stuff we're going to do and getting everybody's opinion on how and what is going to be important. And like I said, we'll be there from 10 to 2. I'll be there early from 8, because I got to be there to see if I can hold down a spot. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, y'all, make sure, you come out and pretty much and like I said, we're just going to talk and you can ask anything you want. We ain't tape, but I may, like I said, if I got my iPhone and I was practicing today, I think we can go live and, just put it on a little tripod in front of us and people can just watch us all gather and talk or whatever. And they may hear some stuff maybe. But I got to figure out a way for the battery, like if it goes down or do we plug it up in something to keep it charged or something. I got to think how that's going to work for us. But either way, we will go that route. But I think the drone battery thing works as a charger, and that may work for a while too. So we may do that, and pretty much. All right. So either way, so I'll just say good night to y'all. I will see you tomorrow. And again, I love you, as you know. And to my haters, if you can hate me without knowing me, I can still love you. I may not want to meet you, but I'll still love you. Okay. And everything else. But either way, to each and every one of you, I'll see y'all in a couple of days. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow, and then Saturday we will check each other out. So good night, y'all.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shot that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery.
Anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint.
And venture into the realm of conspiracies and extraterrestrial evidence.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Let us consider the question, why the big secret?